Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Regular Beer Reviews, where regular doesn't refer to the beers being reviewed, but to the reviewer, myself. I'm Jesse, and I'm going to review a beer now that I've never had. This is Medalla Light. Now, the primary reason that I've never had this beer is because it's a light beer. I typically try to stay away from light beers. I think they're chick beers, but I needed to get some cash back today when I was out shopping, so I figured, what the hell. I picked up a six-pack of some beers I'd never had before. It's a sampler six-pack, and I grabbed this one. Let's look at the numbers on this beer. Beer Advocate gives it a 67, which is poor, and that's with 93 ratings. Rate Beer gives it a 1 overall with a 13 for the style, so those are really shitty numbers. And the bros have not had this beer. It has an ABV of 4.2%, a year-round availability. The style, actually, I didn't write down, but I'm sure, judging from the look of it, this is an American Adjunct lager. Excuse me, a lot of times they call these like island style lagers, or those kind of the Latin, South American style lagers, which basically they're American Adjunct lagers. That's what they are. Anyway, this is from Compañía Cervecería de Puerto Rico, out of Mayaguez, Puerto Rico. So, yeah, I've never had a beer from Puerto Rico, actually, before. I've had some beers from Costa Rica. I've had beers from Mexico and Guatemala, but never one from Puerto Rico. So, yeah, I have an idea of what it tastes like. I mean, I'm almost positive I know what this is going to be like, but try to keep an open mind. So, going ahead and get this poured. Just going to use the tumbler for this. Pretty straightforward appearance. Exactly what I thought it was going to be. Extremely crystal clear. Yellow, light gold. Tons of carbonation streaming up there. You should have no problem seeing it because it's so clear. Absolutely no head to speak of, just kind of a frothy, you can see there, kind of a frothy ring around it. What little bit, maybe an eighth of a finger head that was there was gone literally within seconds. If you blinked, you didn't see it. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward for an American Adjunct lager. Just going ahead and get a nose on this. It's actually kind of hard to smell because, it's just, yeah, getting a little bit of skunkiness. Not quite as skunky as I assumed it was going to be for the style that it is, but as far as any malt character that I'm getting, kind of a light pale malt, that's it. I'm not getting any hop character whatsoever. It smells cheap, adjuncty, corny, like corn, waterish. I'm sure they used corn. I'm not sure what the ingredients are, but I'm sure they used corn or something when they brewed this. You can definitely smell it. It's got that grassiness to it. Just kind of a bland, watery smelling beer, so I guess I'm just going to jump into this one. A little skunkier on the flavor than on the nose, so it tastes right where I thought it was going to. Just watery mouthfeel, watery flavor. Really carbonated, though. This is actually probably a little more carbonated than you would get from the average, like, American Adjunct lager. Like a Budweiser, or an American-made, American-style Adjunct lager, like a Budweiser or Coors, or any of the ice beers, the cheap ice beers and malt liquors made by those companies. It's actually more carbonated than that. It is really, really carbonated on the mouthfeel. I mean, it just fizzes so much as soon as it hits your tongue. Actually burns the back of the throat a little bit. But as far as flavor goes, it tastes like a Dos Equis or a Corona or um, Tecate or any of those Mexican beers. Or I've had a lot of other beers like Imperial, which is a Costa Rican beer, or I've had actually quite a few Guatemalan beers like Monte Carlo and stuff. They all taste exactly like this. I mean, if you blindfolded me, I couldn't tell you the difference between them. Um, Basically, exactly the way that I described the smell. That's what you get. It's a little more skunky in the flavor, and in the smell, I'm picking up a little more on those pale malts that I'm tasting. The skunkiness that is coming out in the flavor, it's definitely overpowering those what little bit of a malty character this has. I'm tasting the cheap adjuncts. I'm tasting like a grassy kind of graininess. Maybe picking up the slightest bit of those malts, just really pale malts. Not really any character to it at all. Excuse me. It reminds me of water. I mean, really. This is not a good beer. I did a review of Rolling Rock actually um, a day or two ago, and that actually I think wasn't as good as this though. This, because of that slight bit of skunkiness, does have a little more character. Um, the carbonation is actually kind of appealing to me because it is so carbonated. It's almost like a soda or something. It's definitely sessionable, definitely drinkable, with a 4.2% ABV. And it's funny, the bottle says 4.2%, Rate Beer says 4.2%, BA actually, Beer Advocate says 4%. So I don't know if they've upped it recently, or if um, the initial review, the page that was done on Beer Advocate was done somewhere where they had to where they had to do a lower ABV. I mean, 4.2 by itself is already pretty low, but I know sometimes they'll breweries will put out the same beer with different ABVs corresponding to different areas where they're going to be distributed due to laws that are regulating those ABVs. But I don't think that's the case with this one because they're both 4.2, 4%. I mean, they're both really low and they're pretty close. So anyway, yeah, this beer I'm gonna give a 4 out of 10. This is a low beer. That's an F. I mean, that's failing. This is a low beer, or low scoring beer. This is not a great beer. I'm not really a huge fan of it. I don't really care for it. It's definitely sessionable. It's definitely drinkable. I mean, I could, if I was at a party or something and somebody just handed me one of these, I could toss them back all night. But again, I try to stay away from the light beers. So if you see it, I would say don't even worry about picking it up. Yeah, so I give a 4 out of 10 to Medalla Light from Puerto Rico. It's not that good of a beer. So thanks for watching, and keep watching again in the future for more reviews. Prost.